Here we're asked how many feet are there in 3.8 kilometers, and we're given some conversion factors. We're given how many kilometers are in a mile, how many feet are in a mile. So we're going to use that. So first let's start off and write down 3.8 kilometers, and I'm going to abbreviate that. And I like just to make this a fraction, so I'm going to put 3.8 kilometers divided by 1. Now, in order to change this, I am going to multiply it by a version of 1. We can multiply any number by 1, and it doesn't change its value. So what do I mean by a version of 1? Let's think about the number 8. If I know 8 equals 8, I can take 8 and divide it by 8, and the answer is 1. When you have two numbers that are equal to each other, if you divide them by each other, the answer is 1. So that's what these conversion factors are telling us. If 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers, I can make a fraction that's equal to 1, because 1 mile and 1.6 kilometers are equal to each other. Since they're equal to each other, I could write it like this: 1 mile divided by 1.6 kilometers. I know that's equal to 1. Or I can write it like this, because I know that this is also equal to 1. So which of these versions of 1 should I multiply this 3.8 kilometers so that the kilometers cancels out? Yes, it's the first one. Let's see what happens. Now, I'm not going to actually multiply the numbers, but if we just look at the labels, if you have a measurement in the numerator that's also in the denominator, this kilometers divided by kilometers, that is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So now we're just left with one measurement, and that is miles. Now let's do the same for converting from miles to feet, because this question's asking us to convert to feet. So let's look at this. If 1 mile equals 5,280 feet, how can I set that up as a fraction that's equal to 1? Because we can multiply this by a version of 1. Each of these, again, are equal to 1 because 1 mile and 5,280 feet are equal to each other. Anything that's equal to itself divided by each other equals 1. So which of these versions of 1 should we multiply by to cancel out miles and leave us with feet? Let's try the first one. Does that cancel it out? No. If we look at this, across the top, the numerator, we have miles times miles. We'd end up with a miles to the second power. In the denominator, we have a feet. This definitely is not the right format. So let's try the second one. This will do it because we have a miles in the numerator and a miles in the denominator. Miles divided by miles is 1. So the one measurement we're left with is feet. So now let's go through and multiply our numbers. Let's multiply all of our numerators, the top numbers, and let's multiply our denominators. So that is just 1.6. And now let's simplify this a bit. Let's look at this fraction here and divide that. And when we do that, we're left with 12,540 feet.